Hello, everyone. This is Ron coming to you from Cape Cod, just giving you our eBay sales update for April. It was a pretty good month. We had about 160 something sales. I took about 40 of them out, 40 plus. There's a few interesting ones in there, certain things that we did very well. I kind of pick out the unique, different things, to get an idea. And then some of the larger sales that make us, have a really good sale per item, up around $55, $60 most months. But break down basically what we paid for it, how long I had it in inventory, what I was thinking when I bought it, and what we sold it for. And I'll kind of do this pretty quickly. So get into a screen share here, and let's get into this. All right, first thing here, we got this Lacoste. This is a vintage Lacoste, like track jacket, track suit. Had zip-off sleeves. It was old. This was probably 70s, 80s. Here's the tag. A lot of people get this confused and say it's fake. Or it's just vintage 70s, 80s design in the back. This is all embroidered. It was really nice, but the problem was it had some light stains on it, some light spots. I was gonna probably ask a lot more for it. I paid $5 at a state sale for this, and we've had this for probably a little while in our inventory, probably about 6 months. Probably got in the fall, and we sold this for $40. So, not the best sale, but was pretty good. Next one we have right here, this is a pair of Ralph Lauren purple label linen shorts. I usually don't go through the shorts too much. These shorts just stuck out to me as they're kind of bright. They're like a dark lavender, purple label tag right there. Paid whatever shorts are at the Goodwill, $5-6. These sold for about $47 or so, and probably listed less than a month. I've actually sold them once before, and they were returned, so they didn't fit properly. But hey, they're gone. Weird thing was they actually marked the 38, but when you measure them, they're 36. So just wanted to, always double check, because people have things altered and so on and so forth. This was a massager. I do well with massagers. I pick and choose which ones to pick up. This was a Brookstone rechargeable one, cordless, whatever you want to call it. It actually, this charging thing, but you take it off and you could use it. No batteries or anything like that. It had a bendable arm, bends right there in the middle. Had a turbo thing on it, goes faster, 4 different speeds. I want to pay $6 for this, and this sold pretty quickly, within about a week or two, for $40 plus shipping. This was a Tory Richard silk shirt. I usually don't pick these up too often. My wife found this, and paid about $8 for this. I actually paid a little more than I like to pay for shirts. But it had a really cool design in the back. You see it right there with the airplane, the mountains. This is all embroidered, really nice shirt. Size large. I listed this, and within a few hours, I got an offer. Somebody said, could you do 52 free shipping? I was like, yes. Out the door. Took a day. And I've never done well with Tory Richards, anything other than the silk shirts. Really never had luck with them, the cotton ones and stuff like that. This is another interesting brand. My wife found also this, the same store actually with that Tory Richards shirt. Fairway in green. We picked up 4 of these. They're all the same size. 2 of them had tags, 2 of them did not. You could tell they were new without tags. They just very crisp, clean shirt. The only reason I picked these up is because they had the Titleist on them. They all had Titleist on the chest, and Titleist is kind of something people want to see. They don't care really, almost the brand for the most part, from what I'm guessing. We were into these shirts for about $6.99 each. Paid for. We already sold two of them at $50 each. This was one of them. Another one was a white one. This one was pretty unique. And they both sold within, I would say, the last 2 weeks or so. So I would not pick this brand up unless I had something interesting. The only other time I've sold this brand is because I had advertising for Scotty. What's the name of the golf? Scotty Cameron putters. They have a little dog logo, and that went for about $100. So sometimes it's just the advertising on the shirt, and not really the shirt brand itself. This was a vintage Levi's denim vest, extra large. Picture of the tag over here. I mean, I don't think it's too vintage, probably 15, 20 years old. Paid about $5 for this. Wife found it. I was not too excited, but every time we've picked up the vests sell extremely fast. The jackets tend to sit for us, and it's a brand that everybody loves. This was listed and sold within a few days for $52 or so. We picked up a bunch of overalls. We've been selling them. Probably picked these up about 6 months ago. I think I picked up 3 or 4 pairs, all the same brand. They were all between like 60 and 60 waist, 64 waist. Big boy overalls. These were the last ones. These were newer tags. I sold these for about $52, and we paid around $10 for these. And they were just, somebody wants them. They're bigger size. I mean, it's just going to sell for a little bit more of a premium. This is a Brioni men's dress shirt. Just a brand that's never going to go out of style. It's always going to command good money. It's not a fad. It's just one of those things. Here's the tag right here, size tag. This is a men's shirt. Good size, 17.5 neck. That's probably like an extra large. I took the pictures on this shirt when my wife was away. That's why it kind of came out a little sketchy. I paid actually only $3 for this at a Savers, and we sold it for about $58. And it was only listed maybe a week, 10 days, so really quickly. Most of the Brioni shirts I get between $50 and $70 for them. A little more on the higher end if they're linen or silk, and they sell usually fairly quick for us. It was really weird because we picked this up at a Savers, and it was the first time ever that we picked up something and it didn't have a tag on it, and they actually priced it right there for us and said, "Hey, you want it? It's yours." So that was pretty cool. And they gave me it for a low price. This was a Tommy Bahama shirt, 2XL, black. Once again, it's embroidered on the back. See right here, 5 o'clock shadow, Tommy Bahama's embroidered this design. These shirts do really well, and I'll wait and get usually pretty good money for this. We sold this right around $60 and had it maybe 2 months. I paid about $10 for this one, and it sold pretty quickly. So here was this is a vintage starter. This is probably mid-90s. This is something that I would have worn in high school. So even early 90s, probably. I think I had a few starter things. Early high schools. White Sox, button-up jersey kind of shirt. I mean, they made these for all different teams. We've actually found a bunch of different ones this year. The vintage stuff is made in Korea. See, it's a polyester and cotton blend. And this, we paid about $5 for this, and this sold within a few hours of me listing it for $60 full asking price. So not bad at all. Certain teams do better than others, so always have to pay attention to that too. Now these were some new with tags on Lacoste sweaters. We picked these up actually a year ago in February at Marshalls and TJ Maxx when they were doing their winter clearance. And trying to think, we paid about $10 on average for these. We picked up about 6 to 8 of these, and we sold a few in the beginning, probably last year, Mayish, and in the summer and into the fall, they just did not sell whatsoever. And then I think we've sold the last 4 within the last like 6 or 8 weeks, and they all sell between say $50 and $70. Some sold for full price, some sold for a little less. I think this one we got 55 for. And most of them actually went overseas. I know a few went to England, one went to Greece, another one went to New Zealand or something. Um, you know, so they were nice. Nice flip. Always good. These are big size too, 4X, and a few were 5. This was a Zegna shirt, and this is a tuxedo shirt. See, it doesn't have any buttons on the chest there, and French cuffs. This is a newer tag right here, Zegna tag. I think this is their more current tag. Most of their more current shirts are made in Turkey, and people are more willing to pay a higher price for the more recent stuff. The older stuff's going to sit a little bit more. And it's just a tuxedo shirt. It has like a bib. It's kind of hard to see the bib. That's why I put it in the title. And this sold for about $62, and it took about a week to sell. It sold pretty quickly. Pair of Keen sandals. We've had these about 2 months, size 14. These were new without tags. Just a big sandal. If they were a little smaller, I might have kept these for myself. And not really my kind of shoe, but I just, yeah, these are definitely not my kind of shoes. So probably would have not kept these. But paid about $5 for these, and these sold for $56 plus 11 to ship. They were actually kind of heavy, and they were kind of long, so I had to throw them in. They went to Washington, so I had to throw them in a medium flat rate actually. So that was a good flip, pretty nice. This is a Prada men's dress shirt. This actually had nice metal buttons and everything. Really nice, clean shirt. This actually had a stain on the front. My wife cleaned it up, I think, with some peroxide. And just a really clean-looking white dress shirt. I mean, it's kind of hard to find the white shirts clean and in good condition. And paid $5 for this. This sold for approximately $72. So not too bad. It took about 6 weeks to sell or so. This was a Ralph Lauren Purple Label shirt. I found this in a thrift store one day with a bunch of other stuff, with that Brioni and with a few other things I'll show you down here. It was just one store, and it was just someone dropped off all their stuff, I guess. It was kind of a little bit different sizes, so I'm not sure if they were all owned by the same person or not, but it was just a lot of high-end quality stuff. I remember it was on Easter Day. Some of the savers were open on Easter around us, and I just went to a few of them like, okay, let me get out, because my wife wasn't home, so I had nothing to do. But this has a little bit different of a collar. You see that right there? That's called a Keaton collar. French cuffs, just a really nice, clean, never looked like it was worn, beautiful shirt. Nothing else to say about it. This style of shirt sells for a little bit more than your regular Purple Label stuff. I got $72 for this plus shipping, and I paid about $6 for it. 5 or 6 was not much. If you remember a few weeks ago, I had a snapback haul video. I talked about snapbacks. I picked up nine vintage sports specialties and logo athletic snapbacks. Most of them were of this style of hat you see right here, which is script. Very easy to figure out why they call it script. And I sold this one for full price, picked up 9 of these for $25. So I'm into them for a little less than $3 each. Here's the tag, Sports Specialties, green under brim, snapback in the back. That's why they call it a snapback. Snaps back. Get it? These are probably 90s, mid 90s. These are actually hats were coming out, but they were kind of falling out of style as everybody was kind of going to the more fitted hat at that time. So we picked these up. These used to hold really strong resale value. If it was probably 3-4 years ago, I would have probably got double or even triple the price I got of these. But right now, that's what these hats command, and I'm happy with that. I mean, when you can turn $3 into 70, I'm happy. We had a buyer buy this one, and he went along later that day and bought also this Chicago one for $76. We had it on sale, so they were all dead stock. Some had the tag, some did not. So this was another one right there. We also sold this Laker one for $76. So, and there was one more that we sold of them all. This is a logo athletic one. This was for the All-Star game in 1994, All-Star weekend. And you see, kind of has like a shark tooth design. That's why they call it a shark tooth. If you really want to know a little bit more about what snapbacks sell, go back in our videos. There's a video that we did probably about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and really good information. Not the first person to talk about it, won't be the last person, and there's a lot of others that have talked about it, but there's money to be made there. These were a pair of Floor Shine Imperial men's dress shoes, wingtips. Just really nice, solid shoe. Some age to them. See here on the bottom, really nice shoe. See the V cleat right there is that little triangle metal tip. These sold fairly well. We picked these up at $2 at a state sale, and they sold for right around $68. So not too bad, plus 10 to ship. So that was really good. Picked up this FootJoy men's vest. This was new with tags. FootJoy logo. Some of their stuff does well. Some of it sits a while. It's kind of getting saturated a little bit. They make golf shirts, golf equipment, and stuff like that. Some of it sits a little while and then longer. But if you have something unique to it, like the Titleist on it, or if it has the Scotty Cameron stuff, they do tend to pull a little bit more of a premium. This sold within a few hours for about $75, and we were into it for about $10. So really nice flip. North Face men's Denali jacket. This sold probably within 2 months. Just goes to show you, I'll list anything, anytime, sell anything at any time of year. I buy it, I list it, that's it. Paid about $10 for this, sold for about $72 plus shipping. Just fleece and that's the Denali North Face jacket. I mean, these sell fairly well if you hold on and wait for the right price. These were a pair of Allen Edmonds shoes. We picked up a bunch of Allen Edmonds shoes, all the same size, 9.5, 10s at one place, and a pair of Gucci loafers. I think it was 5 or 6 Allen Edmonds and a pair of Gucci loafers. Have sold 1 or 2 a month. They kind of priced them a little bit high because the condition of the shoes are really good. See right here, these are a split toe design. And the model on these are usually right here. It's kind of hard to make that out, but it does say Del Rey. And really quality shoes. Look these up. And the shell cordovan ones, everybody asks, oh, how do you know if they're shell cordovan? They'll have them on the sole. It's stamped. And, it's a more shiny, more, you just tell the difference. It's not like a regular shoe. I think a lot of people, they mislabel the shoes because there's a lot of resellers selling them, and they're misrepresenting them and trying to get high dollar for them when they're not, when I look online. But these sold for around $80, 85, and I took a paid $10 for these. This is a men's leather vest. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to buy this. I paid 15. I took a chance on it. It's a 2 extra tall. It's made by whatever that brand is, Excelled. It was just a unique, different vest, and got $72. No, got $82 plus shipping for this. Took a little while to sell. Took about 2 months, but I was happy with the outcome. This is a woman's. I hope it's a woman's shoe. Woman heel. This had a patent leather Prada. It's just very different, unique, tall heel. I paid about $10 for this. Got it a half off. Had a buckle in the front here. This sold for right around $85. Had a huge heel. We actually had to turn because the first person said they couldn't walk in them, so it was kind of funny. It's like, I have right there how tall that heel is. So, but it is what it is. It will sell again. It's returned once, it's going to sell again if it's sold. This was a crazy find. First time I ever found this style shirt, Peter Millar. Like I said, find the golf stuff that's a little bit, something different. And it has the Masters flag from the Masters tournament. And this sold extremely well. With these polyester blend shirts, you really want to make sure there's no snags on them, because the material, they will snag very easy. And this was just a clean shirt. It looked like it was never worn. Paid $5 for it. This sold within a few hours of listing it for right around $85. So I was very happy with that. This was a woman's Escada. It's a brand. They actually own St. John's, or a large percentage of St. John's women's wear, which is actually a higher end brand. This is a more recent label from them. See right here. They're always in European size, so you got to kind of figure out the US size. Just a really nice looking jacket. It looks like it was never worn, really clean looking. Paid $10 for that. We had it probably about 3 months, and it sold for $98. This is a Buccinelli, Crucelli, whatever that person's name is. I know someone's going to roast me for not knowing how to pronounce it, but it is what it is. 100% cotton, extra large. See the tag right there. The tag was not hanging on there very well. It's weird because a lot of the time I find this brand here and there. I don't find it very often, but their tags are always on there by a few threads. I never understand why they don't tighten their tags on there better. And I actually got into it with this seller back and forth, and I refused to give a refund. He gave me a negative feedback, and basically I was unable to get it taken off. So, score's never perfect. I don't worry about it because people will still buy from you. Shit happens. Can't worry about it, as far as Gump would say. But I paid about $5 for that, and this sold for right around $135. So it was a nice brand to look out for if you ever see that brand. This is a Nintendo 64. We picked this up about 2 weeks ago at a estate sale. And these are the games. I actually sold 6 of the games on Amazon and the expansion pack separately. Got about $160 out of those. These I sold. This is actually a non-Nintendo controller, but it works. I showed it here working. Got all the games. A lot of these games are really not worthless. A few doubles in there even. This sold fairly quick, within a day. We just sold something. But Sold for right around $100 plus 15 to ship. We already sold the others. We picked these up at a estate sale, all for $15. So made a huge profit on that. Probably profited about 250 bucks. This is an Oxford men's clothing two-piece suit. Always do well with this brand, especially once you get out of that 40 to 44 range where a lot of men's suits tend to be. You tend to do a little better. It's a 46 long, just really nice. The model name was Manhattan. There's the tag right there. Oxford clothes. Super 100 wool. See right there, Manhattan on the tag. I mean, just very easy, nice looking thing. I paid about $10 for that. That took about a month to sell. I took a best offer, $120 free shipping, and was happy. He actually lived in DC, so it costed about $7 to ship, no problem. This is a vintage Red Sox Boston satin jacket. We come across these Red Sox starter satin jackets fairly often. And just, this is that older style 90s sportswear. They made these actually in the 80s too. And different tags will give it away. This is a more than 90s tag. And this sold for right around $80, and it went to Germany. So they paid another $45 to have it shipped. I paid about $15 for this, and it took about 2 or 3 weeks to sell. And the top button seemed like it had some wear on it, but other than that, it was pretty good. This is a new with tags pair of pants. Picked these up at a Marshall's probably about 6 weeks ago. And they're cotton and linen blend. Size 42. I've sold this brand a few times in men's pants before, and the name is Incontent, and usually sells fairly well. I sold these for around $128, so it was really nice to sell that pretty quickly and happily, and great profit. Picked this up at a yard sale. This was actually at an old building that used to be part of the Cape Cod Times. It was turned into a antique store for a while, I guess. Then they closed it. It hadn't been open in 15 or 20 years to the public. There was no power in there, so they gave us flashlights to check out and everything. And I found this, and I got this initially for myself because this is my dream truck right here, a Land Rover Defender, even though they don't make this model anymore. And they didn't import them into the U.S. after 1997, I believe, because actually they refused to put airbags in the trucks. So this was a model. It's made by Monte Christoph, was the cigar company. They had these made for them in 2004. They were limited edition of 2004. Had an African theme to it, as I always wanted to go on an African safari. Maybe one day I will. This box had some water damage to it. I paid $5 for it, and this sold extremely fast. I took an offer of $125 plus 11 shipping, and like it had 7 watches within a day. I probably should have not took the best offer and should have just waited. It would have sold. When I checked WorthPoint, I was actually surprised because there was none listed at the time on eBay or sold. But when I checked WorthPoint, they were selling for some crazy money. If the box was in better condition, it probably would have commanded upwards of $250 possibly. Same sale, I picked up some baseball bats. I picked up 4 game-used baseball bats. I listed them, all of marginal players at best. I didn't know what to expect, but for $1, I will just do what I have to do. Can't go wrong with these. These are all game-used bats, I believe, from spring training. as he was saying how the guy got supposedly worked for the Red Sox or something in their spring training complex down in Vero Beach. But I wind up selling all three of the four to one seller, and I took a best offer on these ones of $50 free shipping, as he was right here in Massachusetts. It only took about $6, less than $6 to ship these. So that was one of them right there. Mark Sullivan, who's a backup catcher who batted about 190 or something in 300 career at bats. Really not good. Then this was another one, Pat Dotson, not another player by any means, any great. And then the last one that I sold to him was Marty Barrett. Marty Barrett was a little better of a baseball player. He played 10 years for the Red Sox and was really extremely a good second baseman. He had some really good years, including the year they went to the World Series in '86. But, I turned $1 into $180. We'll take out $18 for shipping. It was a lot of money to be made there in one day, and I still got one more listed that waiting to sell. But if you come across sometimes these Game Muse bats, these are hard to find. It's not like I find these every day. But I knew what to look for, as I used to sell a lot of sports merchandise, actually, back in the late 90s, early 2000s for Travis Fryman, who was a baseball player, and I used to get a lot of stuff from a family member of his to sell. Picked up these Doc Martin boots. These have 20 eyelets. I put it in the title. A lot of people put them in the title. Helps with the search. See the eyelets right there. There's also a 14 eyelet. People put 10, so on and so forth. But these are a tall boot. They probably go up to about your ankle. Up to your knee. Sorry, they're a nice red color. They look like they were never worn. Picked these up at a grand opening of a Salvation Army for $20. These sold twice. First time, the guy didn't like the shipping through the global shipping program. They were going to charge him too much import tax. I relisted them. Someone else bought them with a Washington address, and they were actually going to, I think, New Zealand. So it was actually pretty cool. And they loved them, and they were very happy. And we sold these for right around $140 plus $15 shipping. And I actually, because these were so large, I actually shipped them FedEx because it was a cheaper rate. This is a Starbucks Collector Series 2008 mug. This is probably one of the more rarer. I don't even know if that's a word. Rare, probably the holy grail of Starbucks mugs. Paid 50 cents for this at a estate sale at a thrift store I don't usually go to. Mug looked like it was never used. There was this two little faint scratches on the back of this. You can't really see them. It would not come out in the pictures really well, but I listed it. It looked like it was never used. The difference is on these mugs, you got to really pay attention to the year and to the city, because some are more valuable than others. They have a 2010, and they're very similar in style. One has a boat on it, and that's like the only difference, and it's a big difference between $30 and $200 plus. I sold this for $200. I took a best offer. I moved it and was happy with it. I knew people that have gotten as much as $500 in the past for this mug, but it seemed that the market is kind of cooling down on these a little bit. But I was happy. I actually double boxed this because he wanted to make sure it got there very safely, and just used a lot of nice bubble wrap and put it in the second box and kind of like had it floating around in some peanuts. And, it got there safe. He was happy. He left in feedback immediately. And, sometimes I'm just going to take extra care of something, make sure it gets to my customer and make sure they're happy 100%. Do whatever it has to. And I only had 50 cents in this. When I can make anything $50, 50 cents, and the $200, I'm going to make sure it gets there perfectly because I cannot beat that profit margin. I mean, my profit was probably $170 on this after shipping fees. So great score. This is a Hudley. I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Cast iron Boston Terrier doorstop. I mean, I picked this up probably in the fall with a camera lot. I paid $50 for both, 25 for the camera lot, 25 for the dog, I believe. And the right facing ones, for whatever reason, there's a lot more of them and they bring better money. The left facing ones, I don't know what it is. They don't bring as much money and there's not as many of them. It's really odd. They do make reproductions of these, and the easiest way to tell is by the screw. And I didn't make a picture of the screw, but can't even see where the screw was now. But it was a regular screw, screw. Sometimes you'll see these and they have fill-up screws. That's the reason to date them. I'm trying to figure out where that screw was, though. Thought it was right there in the middle of the dog, but didn't take a good enough picture of him. But you can see the wear on him. You can see he's been old. He was in a family for a long time. This actually went to England. They actually paid $70+ to have it shipped to them, and I took a best offer of $140 on this. So it was a really nice sale. This was another shirt we picked up. This is a Laurel Piana cotton, 100% cashmere, like jumper sweater style polo sweater. This sold extremely quick, probably within a few days. And this sold for right around $200, so could not argue with that return whatsoever. I paid $5, sold quick, $200, loving that. This is a Canali men's wool two-piece suit. What made this really special and really stand out, it's a 48 extra long. It's a higher quality suit. This is, I really don't sell anything other than the suits from Canali very well. I don't know what it is. A lot of the other stuff, the sport coats, and so on and so forth like that. A lot of times you'll see a tag like this. This is the brand tag. The other tag, for say, is where the item was purchased from, where they got the jacket from. So a lot of times people will be like, hey, what's that other tag? That other tag is almost usually useless because it doesn't matter where they got it from, what store. What matters is the brand. Like I said, we got that. This sold for $238, and this actually sold right here and went to Boston. I probably picked it up in Boston too, which is funny. Just a Burberry London, Burberry's London blue, dark blue trench coat. Had a wool and camel hair liner, 44 long. This is really nice jacket. We paid about $15 for this. We've had this listed probably 5-6 months. Just held on to it, and it actually sold for $215, and then another like $50 as it went to Australia, and they were very happy with it. You know, really good, clean looking jacket. Depending on your liner in these, you'll actually do better. If the ones that don't have a liner are going to sell for a little bit less. If you have an all wool liner, or if some have a 100% camel hair or even 100% cashmere liner, you're going to get more money for it. So always pay attention to the littlest details like that, and make your money. This was a Brioni men's double-breasted cashmere and silk sport coat, 48 long. I got these from a bunch of other, got a whole bunch of stuff from another reseller. Made a deal. I was into these for about $30 a piece, and sold a few pieces, made my money back fairly quickly, and then I had to wait on the rest, of course. Sold this for $280. Just really nice. So you see right here, it's double-breasted, nice metal buttons, the peak lapels. This style of jacket, though, does not really sell that well. by itself, just as a sport coat. It needs to be something a little bit different for it to sell by itself. Um, usually these are part of a two-piece suit, but I can't see them having a 100 cashmere and silk blend trousers to go with this. It just seemed like an odd combination. But like I said, we were into this about $30. Took about 6 months to sell. Best seller of the month was these pair of Alden. These were made for J. Crew, the indie boots. These retail for $523. These were really beautiful boots. These are the second time I found a pair of these. And they sell. The last time it was a size 14, and it took a few months to sell it, and I got a little bit less. I think I got like 240. This time we actually sold within a day for $288.99 plus another $11 to ship it. And these were made famous by the Indiana Jones movie. I guess that's what the boot is named after. But paid $17 for this, turned 17 into 290 within a day. Really great, happy. Can't say enough. But with that being said, that was our sales. Hopefully tomorrow, I'll get the podcast up and going. It just seems like my wife wants to do it again, but we've been so busy with so many different things, between looking for a new truck. We have family coming next month for a whole month. And just so much going on. We're looking for a house. We just got taxes done. I just can't seem to focus as much on the business part of it. And I hope to keep making videos, but at some point here, they're probably going to slow down. But like, comment, and subscribe. You subscribe, you'll know when we get videos, you'll get messages, so on and so forth. But see you later. Remember, if you like these kind of videos, give it a thumbs up. See you later. Have a good day, everybody.